So let's go through a basic subject overview of what we have in ELE4RSD. So firstly, about myself. My name is Robert Ross. I've been lecturing in the Department of Engineering since 2008. I've got my PhD in robotics, and I did my undergrad here, a double degree in computer science and electronic engineering. My office is on the 4th floor of the Beth Gleason building, BG441, and my email address and phone number are there. If you have any concerns at all, please get in contact, shoot me an email or give me a call, and we'll try and sort them out as quickly as possible for you. To give you a bit of a rundown on how this subject will run, in week 1, which is this week, we're going through a bit of an intro and looking at a bit of a background in robots and systems engineering and prototyping and things. We'll then spend a few weeks on looking at robot sensors. Sensors are a major part of robotics, as we'll talk about soon. So we'll look at navigation, rangefinders and vision systems, how the robot finds out about its external environment. We'll then spend a few weeks on robot modelling and looking at things like kinematics and mathematical models to describe robot systems and how the robot's configured. And then we'll spend a few weeks in the middle of that in looking at robot control, and we'll look at some concepts like industrial robotics and some path planning. Now there's some further reading that's recommended, but it's not essential. The first one is the Robotics Planning, Modelling and Control book, which is over in the library for you. A lot of the material, particularly in the navigation section of this, have been taken out of that book and the following resource, which is Where Am I? This is a free downloadable thing. If you Google it, you'll find it. It's a navigation report produced by Borenstein and some others that it's a little bit out of date, but covers most of the concepts, and because it was very forward-looking, covers most of the concepts that we use today still. In terms of teaching for ELE4RSD, we essentially have 5 main teaching elements. Firstly, we have these online lectures, like the one that you're watching now. We also have online forums, so you can ask any questions on this forum and they can be answered either by your peers or demonstrators or by myself as well. We then have laboratories. So laboratories are our main 3-hour face-to-face time where we'll be solving practical problems and going through things like vision systems and practical examples of navigation and things like that. We have online quizzes, which you'll do on a regular basis. More about them later. And we'll have group work time. Part of the project and 20% of the assessment for this subject is a robotics group project. And so that's the time when you'll be working together in groups. And there's some time in the timetable allocated, but that need not limit you to just that time. We've just booked out the room that can be used for that time. And from time to time, when there's a few difficult concepts or some tricky things that people are having trouble with, we can have some face-to-face tutorials. For example, when we start getting more into the kinematics and things like that. In terms of the assessment, the exams are a touch under 50%, so 45%. We have a group project where you'll work together in a team and go through all the systems engineering things, but also actually produce some sort of robotic system. We'll have laboratories which are worth 20% and online quizzes worth 15%. Now here's the overall learning outcomes of this particular subject. And you'll notice there's a few learning outcomes there that, but one thing that puts them all together is they're all connected to robotics. So looking at different issues related to robot navigation, control and design. You're collaboratively designing something which involves sensors and control and actuators. Developing code to control robots to perform specific prescribed tasks. And finally, looking at safety and usage and standards considering robots as used in industry. So how do we succeed? Well, firstly, need to watch all the lectures. These lectures aren't optional, and I've got in there fill in the notes. The booklet that I give you that's got all the lectures has significant parts missing or blanked out. That's to help you and encourage you that if you actually want a complete set of notes, you fill in those lectures and you watch them. That helps you turn off Facebook and things like that as well, because you have to pay attention to scribe and fill everything in. Secondly, you need to engage with all the material. If I put videos up, if I have readings up and things like that, you need to actually read them and watch them. That will help your understanding significantly. I try and tie everything closely together, that the labs relate closely to the sort of things that you've been doing in the lectures and in class. And if you're having trouble, talk to us earlier. Just like a snowball that's running down a hill, it's a lot easier to stop it when it's a tiny little snowball like this, rather than at the bottom of the hill when it's something the size of a truck. Let's nip these things in the bud and fix them as soon as we can. So please pay attention to LMS and all the emails and the calendar sort of announcements that are coming out. And finally, key to all these things, as with all subjects, keep on top of the work. And don't let it get you down, and don't stray behind. Keep on top of it and work through at a consistent pace.